You're listening to the Hot Mess Mel Mom podcast, where we're just trying to spouse, we're trying to mom, we're trying to survive. So sit back, relax, whether it's your coffee, tea, or wine time, and let us make you feel normal. Like, share, subscribe, and check us out every Friday.
Who fucking cares?
And
welcome back to another invigorating episode of the Hot Mess Mill Mom podcast. This week's episode is a part 2 of what bullshit we talked about last week. And so I hope you're excited, because I know we're excited to talk about it, because it's insane. This week's episode, fuck around, find out. Freestyle-Cycle. We're back.
That was fabulous.
We're ready. Thank you so much. I was born for this.
Oh my gosh, that was fabulous. Now let's just
Thank
pray
you
to
so
God the system keeps working. Now
If we
they're
have to
knocking.
record all over again and talk shit all over again, oh, the tragedy.
Hold on. What?
No.
Quickly and quietly.
This is on the quietly, children.
Make sure you get the animals out of here with you. Okay, so we have this working. We have the chickadee talk working. Everything is working. All right. Do you want to start off with like an update? Update us.
Me? You want me to update you? Oh my god.
Me couldn't be. Yes, you.
It would be my genuine pleasure. My genuine pleasure.
Go for it. Out of the park.
So, you got it. You got it. So obviously last week, we talked about this overall amazing organization that Aaron and I used to be part of, that some of our friends are still a part of from our old post. As you could tell by the title, it's called Freestyle-Cycle. And we have updates for you, which are just absolutely crazy. We've been given the all clear to...
Do you have an incoming call on your iPad?
I did, and I declined it.
Never mind.
I declined it. No, I declined it faster than I've done probably anything in my life. I was like, get out. Get out of here.
Like a toddler with the mom's phone. Decline.
Decline.
All right, I broke your mojo. Go ahead.
It's okay. We have a lot of updates about what's been going on since last week's episode and all of the insane bullshit that's been going on there. And I've gotten the okay from all the parties involved to talk about it, to give an update, to give some insight. We still will not use names, but just remember that the villain in this story, although some might say it's us, it's most definitely not us. It is most definitely dog. The doggiest of dogs.
Not D-O-double-G.
No, not D-O-double-G. He would never. He would never. Never. So, a quick recap. We have been calling attention to, honestly, just a vile human being. And I think as the days go by, it just gets worse, and it just increasingly becomes so clear of exactly the type of person that we were all involved with and had no idea. Blinders were so on. It's like when you're driving in the rain and you have to figure out like what speed you're going to put your windshield wipers on. We all had our windshield wipers all the way. They were going so fast. We didn't know what was in front of us, essentially. And that's like the only way that I can think of to actually describe it. But we've all been trauma bonding. And so I guess something positive has come out of all this. But we have found out that this person, who we have dubbed Dog, she has been going behind the volunteers' backs that she knows have spoken up about all of the things that she has exposed people to, the inappropriate comments, physical. I don't want to get like a content warning on here, so I don't want to say a certain word.
Use keywords.
Like an assault, of an intimate assault, if you will. That's the best I could come up with, because my brain just wants to yap it immediately out. But inappropriate discussions, we've got harassment, we've got body shaming, we've got just a slew of disgusting behavior. And instead of just being a grown-ass fucking adult and admitting that you made mistakes, because we're all human, we make them, it's fine. You just can't do it. And I guess when you make that many mistakes, I can see why it's probably really hard to go down that laundry list of fuck ups and apologize for all of them, because there's so many of them. Where do you start? Where do you start? Where do you start with that many apologies? I don't know. But she went behind a couple of volunteers' backs, and she got one of them banned from being able to participate as a volunteer in Freestyle-Cycle. Now, while you might think that that alone is horrible, it's the way that it happened that makes it so horrible. Essentially, because she's not an adult and can't handle the consequences of her own actions, she decided to get her husband, with his extremely high security clearance, in case anybody needs to be reminded about that, to cry to his team and set a meeting, complete conflict of interest meeting. And he essentially was told that there was some sort of illegal activity going on within the Freestyle building, and there was not, and named one specific person out of all the volunteers that was participating in this illegal activity, and therefore got her banned from being a volunteer at the Freestyle. And all of this came to light, and the details of that meeting were discussed amongst all of us, and basically we're not going to fucking stand for it. So the very brave, precious child, adorable human being that actually is going through this personally and dealing with all this, she took a huge step in dealing with all of this and trying to close this chapter, and she filed a fucking report, as she should. She didn't feel comfortable doing it months ago because the amount of fear mongering that was put into place about what could happen, as far as retaliation and, just losing the community that they thought that they were building, which we talked a lot about last time. She didn't feel like she could go to them, and she didn't feel like she could tell anybody, and she didn't feel like she could file any reports, and she just let it slide until the conversations have happened where we've decided it's not fucking okay. And speak about it, talk about it, bring light to the situation, and just know that it's not acceptable for somebody to put their fucking hands on you. I don't care what the context of it is, whether it's just a physical assault, if it's an intimate assault, if it's just, I don't care if you walk up to me and poke me. Don't put your fucking hands on me. Don't put your fingers on me. Don't come into my space at all. Do not touch me. You shouldn't be putting your hands on anyone. You should be in your bubble and worrying about your children more specifically. And you should be taking care of things that are supposed to be taken care of. And body shaming women and assaulting them at the same time, like, there's a literal list.
Maybe not the ASS word.
Huh?
Maybe not the ASS word. I don't know about that word. Maybe we use a different code word for that.
Okay.
I think it's okay. I think just so many. Maybe if we just say asphalt.
Yeah.
I know this is going to sound weird, but maybe we
just... I might not say it again, perhaps, maybe. Because I feel like... Yeah.
Don't do asphalt.
Don't do asphalt. Yeah. Basically, keep your fucking hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself, and you won't have to fuck around and find out. And now it's a situation where this person that we've affectionately named Dog, she's going to find out the hard way, because instead of just walking away and just accepting the situation and trying to make it right, she just refuses to let it go. She refuses to just admit fault, and she thinks that she's got the upper hand because she got her husband's team, friends, whatever, to jump in and basically manhandle the situation. Listen, I'm sorry, but there's not going to be any manhandling when you're dealing with a group of very outspoken and very protective women. It's just not going to work. It's all about, they're all just trying to preserve their image. They don't want to look bad, but maybe you should have thought about that before you fucking married a psychopath. I don't know. Maybe we should have thought about it. Maybe you should have known each other a little longer so you could have gotten to know some character, because that truth coming to light ain't pretty. To me, it feels like the discussion in movie Coyote Ugly, when they ask what Coyote Ugly means, and it's like, do you ever wake up hungover after a one night stand and the person that you're laying next to is so fucking ugly that you would rather chew your arm off than risk waking them up? That's what I feel.
Coyote Ugly.
That's Coyote Ugly. That is what I feel like. That's how I feel about the situation. I feel like the person that we all thought that we were dealing with, we've had our beer goggles on. We were, not realizing really what it was. And then we woke up the next morning and boom, Coyote Ugly. That's literally how I feel about it, to be honest with you. And just like all the secretive meetings that are being called, and it's like, dude, just let it fucking go. You made a mistake. Leave it. It's a positive thing. Let it stay positive. Let it be its thing. And go fuck off somewhere. Like, go take care of your fucking children. Go clean your fucking house. Like, go wash your fucking hair. Like, go away. Just go the fuck away. And you're harassing people. You're making people uncomfortable. You're like trying to like rally all of this hate against people simply for speaking up and saying what happened to them. And it turns out that it happened to many people. And now we've all been talking to each other and we've all been putting the pieces together and it all makes fucking sense. And I just don't like on the other side of things, I don't like oh, I'm not going to get involved. I don't want to get involved. I'm not picking sides. Well, by not picking sides, you pick the wrong fucking side. I can understand not wanting to get in the middle of any kind of dramatic situation. Fine. This isn't drama. This isn't fucking cafeteria drama. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is not, oh, she called me a bitch. Like, this is not one of those situations. This is like full blown inappropriate behavior. This is full blown, just unacceptable behavior as a whole. And if you are sitting here saying that you're not going to take sides in something like that when there's so much evidence stacked of what's happened, then I don't want to fuck with you. I don't want you around me. I'm like, it's like that TikTok trend that's going around where it's like, I don't want to be friends. And it's like, whatever that person's doing. And then like, it's the Lady Gaga thing saying, I don't want to be friends in the background. Like, by not picking a side in the situation, you have definitely picked the side and you're on the wrong side. And I think the whole thing is disgusting. And I'm trying really hard not to say too much that's going to ruin anything that anyone has going on behind the scenes as far as, any reports or anything like that. But I did think it was extremely important to provide an update that one of these women was brave enough to come do that. She went and did the damn thing. She went and she got her opportunity to speak to someone who can actually do something. Like we're doing our part, but there's only so much that we can all do behind the scenes of things, Like we could be there for support and we can be there for encouragement and we can be there for advice. But at the end of the day, none of us are in the actual position to do something. And the fact that somebody actually took the opportunity and went and filed this report and someone listened and heard you and just the questions that were asked behind the scenes too, they're not going to let it go. It's not going to be let go. It's not going to be swept under the rug. It's not going to be forgotten about. And I will do my own part to make sure that it doesn't get forgotten about. We've sent in messages to multiple social media platforms that talk about things like this. And the posting that I've made, they're not over. Those posts are not done. And I always advocate that I'm not going to post anonymously because I believe in saying it with your chest, but there's some platforms that do need to be posted anonymously with things like this. So I'll do it for the sake of argument, but
we'll break that stride.
Yeah, it's okay. It's for the right reason. You know what I mean? It's not like hey, does anyone know what time the commissary opens? Post it anonymously. Like, what the fuck? Well, that's for a good reason. It's for a good reason to be anonymous. So it's fine. But at the end of the day, we have to try to work to make sure that this doesn't continue happening because it's such a valuable resource for the community, the military community. And not to say that we're better than anyone else, but we do deserve to have something special that's for us and something that benefits us. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we can't let one person ruin it for everyone else. It's not going to happen. It's not. If we got to make a road trip down to Georgia to make sure it doesn't happen, fine. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Let's put in a little 4-day pass and let's get it. It'd be like a 2-for-1. 2 birds, 1 stone. Do you have anything to say? Where are you at with it?
It's always just the boring help.
It's important stuff, though.
Yep, it's important, but it's always I'm very, very good at research. I will sit and it's always, what question do you have? Let me, not a lawyer, but the beautiful thing is the internet is free, and I will sit down, be sitting there helping out a client, all the screens up on my desk, and I'm sitting there helping out a client on one, and then the next one I'm sitting there, like, what are these laws? What are these laws? Looking at every single .gov website I can possibly have. I'll have like 7 tabs open on this computer screen and just trying to go through every single thing, then trying to copy and paste into my phone, or having Messenger open up, trying to keep up with everybody's messages. And I'm always like, just at my name. I can't read 100 messages, but it'll pop up saying at Aaron, at Aaron, at Aaron. And those will definitely show up. So I will try to find whatever I can. And if I can't find it, 100%. Can't help you. Can't find it. But maybe we can ask this person. I hate giving somebody I absolutely cannot help you. I hate doing that.
Yeah. It's like a last resort.
I absolutely cannot stand doing that.
Yeah.
So if it's,
I
I
feel
can't
like
find you the answers, but damned if I can't find you 5 people who could possibly give you the answers.
Yeah, exactly. Like I might not be able to give it to you, but I'm going to find somebody who can. And I think that's the beautiful thing about like the chat that we all have, and like the different dynamic of people that we have in that chat is insane. Like we've got active duty, we've got you, we've got, I don't know, whatever I am. We've got so many like different variations of people in that group that are just like supporting each other and all coming at it from different perspectives and different angles. I mean, at the end of the day, the perspective is the same, which is the fact that this is wrong. How everyone's been treated that's come out with their stories. It's wrong. It's inappropriate. It's disgusting. So like that perspective is the same, but like there's different ways to look at the individual scenarios and different solutions for different things that have happened. And I feel like the fact that we can all like collectively sit down and have those conversations and come up with like a valid way to attack it, to like approach it. You know what I mean? And I think that that's very valuable. While you might think that your side of things is kind of boring, it's not. Like we're all like, like hyper, and we're all like, I was like shaking last night. I was shaking. Like I was rage shaking last night, getting the messages saying that these accusations were happening and they were just being believed with no evidence. And, you can't just make false allegations against people. You just can't do it. Not in this day and age. You cannot go make false reports about people. You cannot, like, you can run your mouth on social media. You can talk shit to people, fine. But you cannot start getting like officers and people of like certain active duty statuses. Like you cannot start bringing these people in and start lying out your ass. You can't.
Always remember, if a snake is in a corner, it's going to lash out, whether you're a threat or not.
I mean, yeah, I guess the shirt that I wore is appropriate. It says pick your poison. But I'm like, at the end of the day, like this person, this dog might feel like she's backed into a corner, but look at what you've done to all these other people. You've backed all these people up into a corner where no one else knew what to do. So we did the only thing that anybody could think to do, which was, yeah, let's talk about it. Like, because at the end of the day, like a lot of us didn't just volunteer next to each other. We've made friends. That's how you and I made friends with each other. And that's why we are as close as we are. And those girls have made friends with each other because of what they've done together volunteering. And at the end of the day, that's what's happened. Those bonds have happened. So we did what any group of people would do. And we started comparing stories. We started talking. Still to this day, don't know who called the daggone MPs on little old lady that likes to leave her children home alone. I would love to shake your hand. I would love, can I get your autograph? Like whoever it was, who knows?
That was the little tip that busted open the can of worms.
It's absolutely. That was like that last little bit that like broke the dam open. It's like that situation has like forever changed, I think, how this plays out. Like I think that we would not be having these conversations, and we wouldn't be in this position that we're in right now had that act not happened.
These women would not have been able to have an outlet to speak their stories. They wouldn't have had somebody to talk through.
Mm-hmm.
For those who didn't want to have their name out there, they wouldn't have had somebody to speak through. They wouldn't have had those opportunities. So yeah, to whoever woke up that day and said, you know what, this isn't right, I'm going to call the fucking MPs.
You did a good job. You did
Thank
a good
you.
thing. And not even knowing that this was all going to spiral into this whole other thing, just doing the right thing. You know, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just look the other way. A lot of people just, you know, don't pay attention to what's going on right in front of them because they don't want to be involved. And, you know, and it's just, there's a right and a wrong. And I know that there's a lot of gray area when it comes to situations, but in the scenario of leaving your very young child home alone, there is no gray area. There's right and there's wrong. And, you know, like some of the stuff we can laugh about it now, but at the end of the day, like, it's not funny. This shit is not funny. These jokes that are being made out of like trauma and, you know, emotional stress and pain, like, and that's where they're coming from. They're coming from that place, and all of these different personalities like clashing together to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, you know, I think that whoever made that phone call obviously would have never guessed that this was going to happen, but it's the best thing that's happened because now we have somebody who felt like they could say something, not to just other people, but the proper authorities. Like, that's huge. Like, that is so huge that you felt the need and the ability to be able to go say something. That's a massive accomplishment, in my opinion, I think.
It is.
Like, and, you know, there was like doubts about like, was it that big of a deal? You know, this is minor compared to what this happened, because we had another volunteer where it was the same thing, where she had a similar experience, but she was like, it wasn't as bad as yours. But it's like, there is no worse than yours when it comes to somebody being inappropriate with you or treating you a certain way or making you feel a certain way.
Committing asphalt.
Yeah, it's not more or less. It's not like there's no
It hurt
someone
you.
who has it worse
left
off.
a mark.
Yeah.
It's not something that you just wake up, you're like, oh, I know. It's not.
No. And on top of just that stuff, the fact that y'all were lied to. I mean, I guess we were too, about paperwork being filed and things that were supposed to have been done while we were still helping manage everything. Like, everybody, from my understanding, was under the impression that this was all done by the book. All of these hours were being logged and all of these things were being done appropriately. And come to find out, it's not at the end of the day. Like, not to say it's all for naught, but like, some people's only motivation, which is perfectly fine, to volunteer is to get volunteer hours for whatever
Especially
goal
in the
or
military.
purpose.
I mean,
Exactly,
there's
especially
a
our
lot
soldiers.
there's a lot of benefits that come with getting volunteer hours. So for that to be your motivation, it's completely understandable, because I'm pretty sure you get points for it, and points go towards ranking up.
Promotion,
that's how you get paid.
That's your livelihood. And like, the fact that someone wanted to sit here and fuck with your livelihood is just, it's not acceptable. Like, it's just like every day I feel like we're waking up and it's just something fucking new. And it's like this like little pimple that just won't go away. And it's just like, you know, you put all the stuff on it and you pop it and you get rid of it and you think it's good. And then it pops right back up again. And I feel like
definitely not done.
Yeah, it's like coming back. It keeps like circling back. And it's just like, I feel like we've taken all the right steps to resolve this and to have it be done. And I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's just my inkling of the situation.
Like I discussed with you off the record, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting some more calls.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's definitely far from over and far from, you know, and there's obviously certain things that cannot be discussed on podcasts and TikTok lives. And obviously we can't talk about everything. So I know some of the stuff is vague.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're in a professional setting, you definitely have to vet your nonprofits a little bit more. Learn the lesson.
Well, it's also like, you know, vet your volunteers more, but also like vet your organizers more too. I mean, at the end of the day,
yeah,
we had no idea. Like, the volunteers aren't the problem in this scenario. So it's like
I guess I should
how
rephrase that because this may not be a nonprofit. I need to vet the charities that I help
yeah.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't just say
And
I don't help. I'll be like, no. I'll be like, I need to
I
know
mean,
your plan.
at the end of the day, it kind of had to be a little bit like a job interview. I mean, especially considering the fact that it's on a military installation, like the rules and regulations and things like that, while they may not necessarily be exactly the same as it is for active duty soldiers, but we've got very strict rules that need to be followed and a
Yeah.
code of conduct, if you will, that needs to be adhered to. And that was
Yeah.
not fucking happening. And
But
if this had to be the lesson that needed to be outed and learned for mistakes like this not to be made in the future, then I guess so be it. But I just hate that it had to happen like at other people's expense. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it just
But
pisses me off.
we'll keep you guys updated as it comes. Are you ready to move on to something funny?
Yes, I think we need something funny.
Oh my God. Okay. So it starts off not so funny. I was very pissed. He was very upset, and it was a horrible thing.
Is this your parenting owl?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a very bad situation, but then it's what he said that I love. So
Ooh,
no,
okay.
it was still a very horrible situation for my son. We're still very upset about it. So Zane got into his first fight at school. Yep. And for those who have not listened to previous episodes, Zane is my only son. He is 12 years old. He is in middle school and he has been experiencing some of the worst kind of bullying. We PCS'd here. He has been doing great in the school. He has gotten some of the best grades of his entire life. And he is on the spectrum, but he is high functioning. He's great. He's doing super awesome. But these kids are fucking assholes. Okay? These kids are douchebags. And so Friday, I'm on my way out of town. I'm, heading towards Kentucky to go see family. And I get a call from the school. And they, unlike past schools, where our friends, their kids have gotten into altercations and the school never called, this school was fucking on it. So they say, we saw your son. His face is messed up. Okay. We asked him what happened. He said that a kid punched him. Okay. And then, like, is that all? He said no. So he told us that he gave a girl a necklace in the hallway right as they were heading towards the bus. Some little punk ass kid goes up to him and calls him, I don't know if I can say it on here or not, but calls him GAY. So my son turns around to him and tells him to
Yeah, your mic died. I can tell by your mannerisms that we're at the juice of the story. We wouldn't be called a hot mess for no reason.
Okay. So
All right.
he says again, shut up. Kid sucker punches him, takes off running.
Chicken shit.
So yeah, I'm like, oh my God, call my husband. I'm on the road. I can't do anything about it. So they call Joey, my husband, and they tell him about it. So everything goes, husband goes to school on Monday. They find out who the kid is. Zane wasn't snitching. He wasn't going to tell anybody who the kid was. Okay, dude, I understand. But the school tells me, look, there were a lot of witnesses. If he tells us who the kid is, we're going to blame it on someone else. We're just going to say that some of the other kids came forward, something like that. So that way there's no repercussions with this kid or his friends towards your son. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Tuesday or Monday, I'm driving back into town and the school calls me again. It's his TA that helps him out. And she says, so we found out what really happened. Okay. The only change in the story, because we've been telling Zane, look, the way these kids are acting with you, you got to start being meaner. Like, don't just tell these kids to shut up. You tell them to fuck off.
Hell yeah.
You tell them you're going to fuck them up. We
Period.
don't care. If they're not listening to you whenever you say, don't be mean to me or shut up or you're ignoring
Take
them.
it to the next level.
Yeah, you step it up a
Yep.
notch.
Get louder. Absolutely.
So, and we told him that too after Friday. We said, you don't have to just say shut up. Like, be a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, turns out he had listened and he didn't say shut up.
What did it say?
So the kid had called him that and he said, well, you're a little bitch. And the TA is telling me, she goes, I'm not really supposed to cuss on school phones, but I have to say it. And I said, okay. She goes, you're a little bitch. And I'm like, she
Moments
goes,
where you shouldn't laugh, but like,
she goes, I know, right? And then the boy said, you say that again, I'm going to punch you. She said, Zane looked at the boy and said, you're a little bitch with the head and everything. So the
oh
kid did
yeah,
it and took off running. So she said that she
he's
talked
a
to
little
Zane.
bitch. So I mean,
She said she talked to him and said, you know, that's only going to make the other kid react or be angry. She said that she gave him the whole after school special kind of talk. But then
yeah.
she told me, you know, she didn't really emphasize it too much because she said, I got kids.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done the same.
Mm.
And I said, yeah, I probably would have said worse.
Yep.
She said, yeah, he's not getting in trouble. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. I know.
Good.
As soon as I
That's
hung up the phone,
funny.
I'm like, that's my boy.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, you don't just say shut up. You say, fuck you, or you're a little bitch.
And then look at that. He ran away like a little bitch.
Yeah, I
So he
fucking
calls it
did.
like he sees it. Good for
Yeah.
Zane.
Oh my
Good
God.
for him.
His whole fucking cheek. Like, this little fucker broke skin. Like, he was crying on Tuesday. He's like,
Aw.
I do not want to go to school. I said, dude, if you don't go to school,
He
they're going to
wins.
win.
Yeah.
I said, you let me know if that little fucker's still in school, because then I'm
Oh,
going to go to
yeah.
school.
You got to make friends with bigger kids and then get them to clock you out.
But yeah,
I might have
so that
been a bigger kid.
that was my parenting help. You definitely are, dude. You're like 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And I've been tall as fuck for a long time. A
Yeah,
long
I'm 5
time.
feet.
I've been tall as hell since
The size you
maybe
were
middle
in the
school.
3rd grade.
Middle school? Yeah, middle school, dude. I've been tall for life. I was born
Yeah,
tall.
I'm literally the height of you in your 3rd grade classroom photo.
Probably. I'm sure my mom could find that photo and confirm that
Yeah.
information. Well, my parenting hell isn't as crazy, but it's more embarrassing than anything else, I feel. So, you know, Shannon's been gone for a couple weeks for work. And I was taking the kids. Normally he takes the kids to the bus in the morning so that I don't have to take the baby out in like the freezing ass cold temperatures. And so obviously I've been taking all the kids to school and I walk with our neighbors' kids up to the school as well. And one morning they were standing up at the bus stop waiting for the bus to come. And Sydney's talking to her friends and, you know, the parents of the other kids are standing around and I don't know what sparked this conversation. I mean, for all I know, it could have come out of the clear blue sky because my children just say things out of the clear blue sky. But Sydney all of a sudden goes, yeah, my dad's gone. He like just ended the conversation. And the little girl that she was talking to, her dad's right there. Like, and he like looked at me and he was kind of like, what the hell? And I was like, he's on a business trip, Sid. He's coming back. He's got a return ticket. Like, what's going on? It was like the first week that he was gone, and maybe the second week. And she was like, yeah, my dad left. He's gone. Looking like the freaking Muffin Man. Just like rolled out of bed. Like, I almost wore my robe to the bus stop, and this guy's probably like, yeah, I'd leave that bitch too.
It made me smile more.
Like, I got the baby in the stroller. I'm like this at the bus stop, standing at the fucking bus stop, freezing my ass off. All I can think about is my Red Bull in the refrigerator at home. And here she goes talking about, oh, my dad left. He's gone. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Yeah. So I had to clear that up real quick. And I'm like, God, she's probably going to school telling the teachers, my dad's gone. My dad's left. So I had to like go send a message to like the freaking kid's teacher. And I was like, just in case you were wondering, Sydney's he went on a business trip. He's gone for work. And so sometimes she can get a little squirrely with her
Better if
behavior.
you phrase it like that.
Like he's going to be like his fucking mistress or something. And I'm just like I'm not helping my case at all. But hey, he came home.
He went to go buy a pack of smokes.
He went to get milk, and joke's on you guys, I had the debit card, so it's not like he could go far. Yeah, so she was going around telling all of her friends at her job.
You know, Joey taught the kids that joke.
Oh, God.
The milk joke. Like, I'm going to get milk. And Via said,
Believe
are you
that.
going to come back?
Anna does that with the kids, too. Like, he's like, I gotta go to the gas station. I gotta go get something. I don't know if I'm coming back. He's like, I don't know if I'll be back. Because the kids will be like, when are you coming back? And he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be back. I'm like, I don't blame you. Stay gone as long as you can.
And like the kids know he doesn't smoke, so he'll say, I'm gonna go get a pack of smokes. Well, Mom, Dad's not coming back.
That's your code word. That's your code word for God. Yeah. So just,
Sarcastic, most fucked up kids
yeah.
ever.
Listen, you cannot hurt my kids' feelings worse than I do. I am not raising little chicken shits. I'm definitely raising children the way that my dad raised me. So all of this gloriousness is all thanks to Dan.
Like,
I
I'm
uh
surprised that Zane hasn't popped off with something worse. Like your mom should have swallowed you or something like that. It's like,
seriously.
how many times has he fucking heard that?
He's gonna one day he's going to be like a little Joey at school. And it's just gonna
Yes.
spew out and I know it's gonna happen. I think they're just in this mild mannered age where I think that at least for my kids they know like they can say certain things at home, like they can cuss at home, like, they use the right context, so I can't be mad, but they're not allowed to say things like that outside of the house. So I think it's almost like they err on the side of caution. And I feel like that window of time is like slipping away every day.
I think that now, like the one time getting hit, I think that now that was like, it's busted. The can's
Yeah.
open, and now he's gonna finally be like, you know what?
His give a
Fuck
damn is
you.
busted.
Fuck you. Yeah, the give a damn is busted.
Oh, Cindy
And
got pushed
Joey-
the other day at school too, so I think she's gonna be at that point too. And she's itty bitty. She's this big. She's itty
Yeah.
bitty. And this boy grabbed her by her shoulders and shoved her. And the teacher was like, another teacher saw it happen. She didn't do anything wrong. Like we sent Cindy to the nurse, and Cindy was like, I don't know why you pushed me. And I'm like, pushed you either. I was like, but you see that kid again, telling me put your hands on you again. Your mom's gonna come put her hands on him. And she was like, okay. And I was like, let him know. I'll hit a kid.
And Joey, his only response was, dude, do you have any idea how many times I wish a motherfucker would? He said, you had that chance. Why didn't you chase him?
I'm always like, don't start the fight. But if somebody puts their hands on you, you have my full permission to rock
Amen.
their shit. I grew up like that. I still think that in certain situations, that's how it should be. Don't ever put your hands on anyone. Like, we don't let the kids put their hands on each other. There's no play fight, like that kind of stuff. Like, it starts here. Don't put your fucking hands on each other. Do not go to school and put your hands on somebody, because if you put your hands on somebody, you are automatically in trouble. I don't care what happened. You don't put your fucking hands on somebody. But if somebody puts their hands on you, go to hell. Go ahead. Go on.
Amen.
Do what you gotta do. Whatever you feel is right, you do it.
Amen.
I don't know. These dang kids.
Kids
So
these
your
days.
kid got punched, and my kid told the neighborhood that my husband left.
Well,
We're
so
winning.
who was pouring your glass of wine?
That's my pool. That's my pool boy.
Oh, good Lord. All right, well, let's take a pause, and we'll move on to screenshots. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and give us a pause.
Okay.